You know my favorite holiday? New Year's Eve. You know why? Resolutions.
For so much of my life, I have had such a disdain for New Year's resolutions. In fact, up until this year, I've never made one. But now we have one.
People take that word for granted. They don't realize just how heavy a word it is.
That was my big problem with New Year's resolutions. I heard so many people make them and I saw them break them. And I went, you have no respect for the gravity of what it means to make a resolution.
Resolution. Resolve. It means being unwavering, determined, a firm commitment to do something or not to do something.
Resolve. Unwavering. I love these. If I'm gonna make something and I decide it's time for a resolution, I'm gonna do it. You guys must know that by now, right? I mean, I decided at some point along the road that I want to become a Glory World Champion. And I did it. And then I want the next belt. And I did it. And the goals within martial arts kept piling up and I kept achieving it. And then I got to the YouTube thing and I went, I want to hit at some point 100,000 subscribers. Now we're at 233,000 subscribers thanks to everybody out there. Resolutions can be achieved. I just always thought, why wait? Why wait until New Year's Eve and put things off that I want to do now? So I would just make them throughout the year, set goals.
Most people go their whole wasted, stupid lives without 1 minute of true resolution.
So instead of being somebody who waited, I decided I'm going to act now. But this year, for the first time, I have my list, and it's because all these big changes that I wanted to enact in my life just happened to coincide with 2024 being only a week away. I really urge you guys, though granted, yes, it is already New Year's Day, that if you are going to set something, stick to it. Be solid. Don't waver. Don't break. If you set your mind to something, I truly believe it is achievable. And I want to take a moment and talk about how we can make 2024 one of the best years ever, one of the best years of your life. And with those goals that we're going to set, we can climb up and up and up, whether it be happiness, financial, whatever the motivation is. And one of the things that I actually had to figure out last week, and this is something where you might go, well, Gabriel, you may have already achieved that, or why have you not thought of it? It was me figuring out what my definition of freedom is. What does that word mean to me? Freedom. It took me a while. I really had to wrap my head around it. I went up to a coffee shop, threw some headphones in my ears, and I sat down and I went, what is freedom to me? What does that look like? For me, it is an inner peace that the accumulation of my decisions have led me to where I want to be while having a lack of financial stress from success achieved. I wrote that out. I kind of like it. I mean, it's not poetry or anything like that, but it really speaks to me. And that little sentence there took me quite a while to write out. I think I sat there for like 10 minutes trying to figure out what my definition of freedom is and how I'm going to go about achieving that. So obviously factors that will play into what I just mentioned are things like happiness with major life decisions. Examples of that would include things like finances, relationships, family, my daily joy, my stress with accepting new challenges, which is something I haven't always been great at, not regretting lack of adventure. I feel like I've had a lot of adventure in my life in terms of traveling to places for fights, in terms of competing, having that thrill of competition. But outside of that, very often I limit myself because I'm so focused on the training and so focused on walking that steadfast route of win the next fight, train hard, don't waver. And part of it is I have to be a little bit more adventurous. And then of course, another one, remembering to prioritize fitness and health. I've always done that. That's not a hard spot for me, but you can always do better. So throughout this list here, I have things I want. I've been very, very careful throughout the years being financially responsible, being responsible with my health. And along the lines, you start going at some point, I'm achieving these things, but really how happy am I? And that is my goal for 2024, to be more successful than I have ever been financially, to achieve more things like winning karate combat titles, taking on new challenges, growing this channel, and adding on new things which I have not done before. While at the same time, giving myself a little bit of wiggle room to have some fun, to spend some money. I do not do that. I am so thrifty, and I've started going, what is the point in all this? What is the point of me setting these big goals, achieving all these things, if I'm not going to have some fun and let myself relax a little bit along the way? So those are more or less my plans, my goals for 2024. And of course, there are some luxuries mixed in there, letting myself buy some new suits, having a fun trip, things like that. But overall, the main thing, the main reason I wanted to share this episode with you is for you to take a moment and define for yourself what your freedom is. What is your definition of that within your life? Because so many people do not feel free. Like, yes, we live in this free society, but so many of us are bound by the constraints of what we have to achieve, whether it be school, going to your 9-to-5 job. Stop and think. What does that mean to you? Again, I'm going to read you mine one more time. It's an inner peace, and that is very important to me. Being able to wake up and just be like, oh, I don't feel stressed. Very first thing, an inner peace that the accumulation of my decisions have led me to where I want to be, while having a lack of financial stress from success achieved. Financial stress is always something which just eats away at me. That's why I'm always so responsible with my money. I don't let myself do fun, crazy things because I'm going, oh, I'm better off having that money in the bank account than go and spend it, because it creates for me somewhat of a peace, a lack of stress. But I want to achieve that while doing everything else I mentioned today and go above and beyond in terms of everything. This channel, my fight career, I keep aiming higher and higher, bigger, add new elements. It's all very exciting. This is something which you can achieve. How do you go about doing it? That might be your next question. You might go, yeah, I set these resolutions, but I cannot follow through. Somebody like myself, I've learned throughout the years that I only set goals which I can achieve. And I don't know if that's always good. That's always a smart decision. I think sometimes it's okay to set goals which are harder to achieve. You know they're going to be a challenge, but you need small goals to get you there. To set one big goal is most likely going to result in failure. If I go, by the end of the year, I want to achieve this big, massive thing, but I know it's going to take me 8 months at a minimum to get there, and you start getting overwhelmed and then you start procrastinating on things, it's just so much less likely to happen. But if you have something which, okay, in 3 weeks, I have to have something done which is going to bring me that much closer to where I want to be. And then another 3 weeks, I'm going to get a small goal that's that much closer. And then, oh, this next one's a little bigger, but it's going to take me 2 months. But bit by bit, you climb and you climb. Set yourself your short-term goals, and then you can follow with the long-term goals. Again, I have my list here of my definition, and then when I flip to the back, I have all the numbers, the goals, the resolutions, the fun, all those sorts of things in a step-by-step process. It's not meant to be overwhelming. It's just meant to give me some direction. And like I said, this is the first year that I've actually sat down and made resolutions, that I've ever written them down. Usually it's just me in my head going, I want to achieve this. 100,000 on the channel, 100,000 subscribers. That's the goal. It's just there. It's not written down. But I had so many this year that if I don't write them down, I'm not going to remember them. So let's make this new year something special. If you haven't already written down some ideas, some resolutions, whether it be financial, whether it be you going, oh, I want to have my first fight, or I want to win my first title. Could be something else like I'm going to allow myself to work and save up for something really fun. I'm going to prioritize health and fitness. I'm going to start doing cold showers or something like that. I have all these things written down, and I really think we can make this year one of the best ever. So I hope you guys join me in doing some good soul searching, some thinking about what freedom means to you, and then pushing and pursuing that throughout 2024. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm looking forward to having you on the channel lots this year and giving you lots of fantastic content. I will see you back here very soon.